Hi everyone, it's Burgess, and it's that time of the week again when I thought I'd paint something for another YouTube tutorial. And for this I thought I'd paint um, a tree by a river. So I'm going to draw a line here for where the tree will, where the river will be. And we'll take it all the way across there like that. And what I want is for the trees to the distant trees to sort of come along here like that. And I don't normally draw a picture first, but for the benefit of the camera and the viewers, I thought it might be an idea to actually put a line drawing in first, and that would just sort of taper off in the back there in the background. And what I would do here, let's just draw that line a bit more clearly here like that. And then what I would do here is try and make the tree come along this way. So we'd do that for the bank. Maybe like that. We could actually just sort of make it a little bit different here, like this maybe. Like that for the bank. It's just a sort of a rough drawing here. Yeah, so what we'd have is a tree along here and a big sort of bush along here, like just like that, like this, and we'd have it sort of coming all the way along here, sort of like that, this way. You can rough this out. Sort of like this here. So it would be like that. And the bush would be sort of all the way sort of like this. I don't want to put the line work in for that, and then the tree would come along here in this area there like that. But it's going to be a dark tree anyway. So okay, so what I'll do is, first of all, I'm going to take my 1-inch Hake and just wet down the sky, and I don't mind getting it over the tree line that I've painted. I don't want it completely soaking wet or anything like that, just along there. And then we'll go with some ultramarine blue. Make sure you use enough blue, because when you lift out the cloud, which is what I want to do, I want the clouds to be able to show up, and they're not going to show up if the sky is a sort of a pale color like that. And now I want to take my 3/4 inch flat and then just do some lifting. And now we're going to let that sky dry, and while it's drying, I'm just going to use the white flat brush to squeeze out some deep green and some yellow ochre. Just paint some sort of distant trees here. Well, not distant, but they're sort of at the edge of the other bank. and they're sort of merging as well, so you can mix a bit of blue into that. Wash it out a bit, the brush, take some ultramarine blue and just set up the base here. And then with our card we can scrape out some, I don't know, trunks or something. Along there like that. And now we can sort of let that dry. Okay, now we're going to put the sort of a bush, that bush that we talked about here. And I've made a mixture of deep green, which is the equivalent of hooker's green, and burnt sienna. And what I want to do is, using my 3/4 inch flat, I'm going to use the side of the brush and just sort of pat down the tree sort of here. Like this. And what I'm going to do is add a bit more yellow ochre on top. Now, a lot of, most people say, conventional artists say, that you shouldn't add light on top of dark in watercolor. But, I do. And I'm going to try this with the yellow ochre a bit more. And see what happens. And now we'll go in with some ultramarine blue. And now I'll take that card again, and I want to see if I can sort of scrape something. I don't know. Start with some yellow ochre. Sometimes it's a bit hard because you're too late. Okay, I might be too late there. Never mind. So now, what I want to do is I want to paint the bank here, and for this I'm going to start off with taking my 3/4 inch flat. Start with some yellow ochre, and I want to just the bank here with the yellow ochre first. And I use horizontal motions because we want it to look like it's, that's the way the horizon works and land works. And I want it to be sort of flat a little bit here. But then what I want to do is work at an angle this way. And you'll see why in a minute. So these strokes are horizontal, those are sort of working at an angle. Like that. And then I want to take a mixture of that deep green, which is the equivalent of hooker's green, and yellow ochre. And I want to vary the color. Put a bit more of that burnt sienna into that. A bit of water. And I'm going to use my fingers to add a bit of texture to the foreground. And we can take the brush bit of texture on the front, extra texture, and maybe in the distance there as well. This is where the tree is going to go, just along here. And then we have our rigger, and with the rigger I want to take some dark colour with ultramarine blue and burnt sienna. Bank there. I'm going to put the water in last. Now what I want to do is take burnt umber and ultramarine blue, because I want to paint the tree there, but I want the trunk to be quite dark. So this tree is going to have multiple branches, I hope. So let's just put one along here. When you use the rigger, you need to make sure that there's enough water in the brush, otherwise it doesn't quite work. And I'm using really dark colour here, and we can have another sort of a branch. We're going okay. And one sort of tapering off to the side there. And the thing with the painting trees is that you can sort of keep putting branches and things in, and you can do that if you want, but you know, you're just trying to create an impression. And see, I'm doing the same thing here. Now I'm not going to do any more with that. I think it's too late to scrape anything out, but we can try. Let's see if we can scrape out any sort of highlights here. A little bit, a little there, not too much. Okay, we don't need to do too much, it's okay. And I'm going to take that funny brush that I have and put in some, I'm going to put in some foliage. So let's start with, I'm going to start with a little bit of yellow ochre first. Right, now I've done that. That's yellow ochre. On top of that, what I want to do is I want to add deep green and burnt sienna on top of it while it's sort of still damp. And while that's still wet, I want to take just some pure ultramarine blue. A bit more texture to the foreground here. We can add a bit more texture here. Now, what I want to do a little bit here is take my brush and lift out a bit of colour in the distance, a little bit, and maybe a little bit in the front here, just enough to create some sunlight. Just along there like that, and here a little bit. Yeah, and I'm using the side of my 3/4 inch flat, and you can still go back in with the rigger. Take any dark colour and put some of the bank colour back in, just along there like that, and along here like this, and there. And there. You can still sort of do that, just to make it look like it's going up a bit. Yeah, just this way. Like that. And now what I want to do is a little bit work on the water. So for this I'm going to take ultramarine blue again, but this time fresh ultramarine blue. Now we need to have it sort of watery. See, my palette's getting dirty again. And I'm going to use the rigger as well, just to add a bit of detail. Now we could put some line work in there like this. And a bit more ultramarine blue. Just to create a bit of movement on the water. the edges there. Put a bit of green in there actually, because there might be a bit of a reflection from the trees coming in a little bit. And now what I want to do is add some grasses going up this way, just a few. Now I want to add up, squeeze about a bit more yellow ochre. This is pure from the tube. Okay, and maybe one little bird. I don't know, let's try one. Wash the brush out. Just take the darkest color you can find and put it along here. Should we put another one in? Yeah, okay, let's put another one in. Small one in the distance there, like that. There we are. Here's our tree on the bank. Let's take these out so you can have a better look at it. Let's take those out. You know, I should get a mount for this so I can show you what it looks like when it's actually mounted. This is our tree on the bank. Hope you enjoyed that video. Do consider subscribing if you did, and give this video a thumbs up and leave a comment as well, as it helps the YouTube algorithm. Thank you very much for watching, and I hope to see you in my next video. Thank you.